Hi everybody, I'm Catherine and I'm coming to you today in person. Usually my other YouTube videos can't see me because I'm showing a painting or been talking about painting or demonstrating something. So today I thought I would just sit down and kind of talk about painting. I was thinking about it this morning. And for all, beginners, people who maybe have painted for a little while and like wanting to try to find your voice in your art and your creativity. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about that process for me. And when I was thinking about it, I thought about how I had restarted with my art, my painting. And that was about a little over 12 years ago. And I did major in art in college. But then kind of fell off the wagon with it after I graduated for a lot of different reasons. One of the big ones was fear. And then came back to it about 12 years ago. So quite a long time after my college graduation. But what I did was I decided to just start basically from scratch. So I took some like elementary drawing classes and started that way and connected with a teacher who had a studio and gave group lessons, which I could afford. And so I really just worked on starting with the fundamentals and the foundations, around drawing, and then moved into painting. And again, I took more painting classes to reorient myself with that, with color mixing, just painting from a model or a still life setup, from real life subjects. And I also had connected with some other artists to begin plein air painting, which I hadn't really done a lot of that in college. I guess there was some, I don't even know if they called it plein air painting then, or I just wasn't aware that that's what it was. But anyways, I took lessons. So part of what I want to communicate is, for me, I did that for a couple of years, just like the drawing lessons and the some painting lessons from a couple of different artists. I also have always liked figure drawing. So there were in a nearby town, just kind of drop in figure drawing classes. So I did that too. And the whole time, like, for me, drawing's a foundation for painting, and just being able to observe objects, get proportions down. It does a lot, in my view, for the development of being able to paint. And there was a point that came in my re-establishing myself and relearning, where I felt like I didn't need to take any more workshops or classes, that I kind of felt I had the foundations in place and just needed to paint. And that's one of the things I would just always recommend to somebody who's either starting out or just even been in for a few years, just to pick up the brush and paint. Like, that's the best way to find your own voice. And for me, like, stopping going to workshops, and especially ones where I would watch the artist use their method in creating a painting, because I really wanted to find my own way. And while I could take some little tips and stuff, maybe about mixing colors or even arranging a palette, which are all useful, at the end of the day, I just needed to paint and to put myself out there and, have a lot of paintings that I wasn't so happy with, go through a lot of frustration, and I still can have that happen. But over time, some years, then things started to click a little bit for me in terms of where I felt like I resonated with the work. And I remember having a chat with one of my art teachers, expressing to him that I didn't feel like I didn't feel like I could feel myself in the work. I think there was an absence of connection with my paintings. They still were nice paintings, and I would get into shows and things of that nature, but I didn't feel like I had fully, I guess, found my way with what I wanted to say. And that has only come through just painting and really stopping using workshops. And I don't want to like not advocate workshops, because I know there are a lot of really great ones out there and they can be a lot of fun. And I'm not saying I would never take one just for fun, but I've just really benefited from kind of just doing it. Um, so with that said, I really want to encourage people to, whether you're taking a workshop or not, to still practice painting, and it can be anything. Just find something in your house or your apartment that you want to try to paint. You can arrange things with whatever you have around your house. I do that a lot, like just using the same things over and over again. And I also would advocate not working from photographs. That's something that I learned in college, and I do work from photographs sometimes now, but I think there's a huge benefit, or has been for me, in terms of observation, working from a real subject that I can't get from an already 2D representation of something. Um, and then once you have your skills down, or you feel like you have some mastery around them, you really, I feel like the door opens up for you to explore your imagination and kind of going off in directions that you feel moved to go off in, which is where I think it gets exciting, or at least that's been the way for me. So a lot of the work you see, well, all the work you see behind here, is more recent work, and it's very different from when I started out. I probably would have put myself in more of an impressionist style painter. If you have to give it the painting a style type, I tend to not like to do that. But much more, I guess, also realistic than these are. And I have a piece here that I did. It's also a little bit different because it's a collage of a bunch of little paintings. I used to start out really small, like 5x7 canvases, and I went through a period where I made these composites of a bunch of 5x7s. I would sometimes cut them up, or just find a way to group them and create a larger piece. So it's like a mosaic in a way. So, but this is really just to give you an idea of what my aesthetic was before what you see behind me. And I know the light's a little bit strange, a little bit bright maybe on it, but these are a bunch of paintings of peonies. They are all plein air pieces that I, like I said, put together and mounted. But you can see there's quite a difference between the rendering of flowers here and what you might see to my right, off my right shoulder, with a vase with the bright flowers, much more stylized and simplistic. The colors are a lot more just straightforward and bold, but that's sort of what happened in my evolution, just from going from this, which was more about me, I think, using what I had learned and wanting to really replicate more realistically what I was seeing, versus letting myself just kind of go off into some other direction that I think my heart was really leading me toward. And that's really where I'm staying right now. I just really love the colors. I love the simplicity, and there's a lot in the paintings that really speak to who I am and where I am in my life. And as the viewer, you're not going to get all that, but for me, it's part of the connection that I can feel with the work, and maybe some parts of that come through to the viewer. I hope so. But that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I hope that anybody who's just starting out with the painting, just keep doing it. Get some basic paints. It doesn't really matter. Just get some, like, the primary colors and some white. Maybe if you want to work with black, I tend to not work with black, but just experiment and have fun with it. And the more you paint, the better you will get. It may take some time, but that's really the way to develop your craft and find your voice, is just to keep doing it. So I would just support you in that, and if anybody has any questions on what I've shared here, or, wants to hear more, feel free to email me at renderedimpressionsart@gmail.com. I'm happy to answer any questions or, things that you're coming up against in your painting, which we all have things that come up. I'm happy to just share my experience with it, what I may know about what you're going through. And I'll be back with, I think, some other talks about painting and sort of the things that come up for me as an artist, which I know I have fellow artists that often experience similar feelings or frustrations, and joys. So I just like to keep sharing about that. And I thank you for watching, and enjoy your day, and happy painting and finding your own voice through your art. Bye now.